Look, I know what a lot of you are thinking. I can't control my thoughts. They just come out of nowhere. I don't choose them. And then once they start, I can't even stop them. I hear you. I get it. When your mind is racing, when your anxious thoughts won't stop repeating themselves, when fear, stress, and doubt, they feel like they're suffocating you, it really does feel like you have no control. But here's what you need to understand. You might not control the first thought that you have, but you do control what happens next. And once you realize that, you start taking your power back. First, let's be clear. This is not your fault. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. You see, your brain is a pattern machine. And what that means is the more that you think something, the stronger that pathway actually becomes. If you keep thinking thoughts like, I'm not good enough or something bad's going to happen, what happens is your brain is actually going to reinforce that belief. And then over time, that thought just becomes automatic because you've thought it so frequently. You see, your brain it's wired to detect danger. And this is why we remember negative experiences more than we do positive experiences. And that's also why one bad comment, it overshadows 10 compliments. So what happens is anxiety creates a loop. So when you feel anxious, your body actually acts like it's in danger. Your heart beats faster, your chest tightens, your mind races, your breathing becomes shallower. And then your brain thinks, oh, I feel this way, something must be wrong. And now you're just in a cycle. Anxiety, overthinking, more anxiety. Anxiety, more overthinking, more anxiety. And this is why you feel like you have no control. But it doesn't mean that you're powerless because your brain can be trained. So let's talk about how to take back control of your mind. You can't just stop thinking about something. That's not how the brain works. But what you can do is catch the thought, break the loop, and then redirect your mind. And in order to do this, step one is you have to stop believing that every thought is true. Not every thought is real. Not every thought is your thought. Sometimes thoughts just pop in our minds. Try this. Whenever you have a negative thought, catch it and then question it. Don't just accept it. So instead of, whenever the thought pops up, I'm not good enough, just redirect it and say, my brain is telling me that I'm not good enough. I'm not telling myself that I'm not good enough because I know that I'm capable of doing anything, but my brain is telling me that I'm not good enough. So don't believe that thought because it's not true. So instead of, whenever your brain tells you, I can't handle this, redirect it, question that thought because you can handle anything that's thrown your way. That's the fact. So you shouldn't believe whenever your brain tells you that you can't handle something. And so what you want to do is instead of saying, I can't handle this, you need to say, my brain is telling me that I can't handle this. And that thought's not true because again, you can handle anything. And what this does is it creates distance between you and the thought that you're thinking. So it's not you that's thinking the thought. And this simple shift, it creates distance between you and the thought that you're thinking. It helps you actually see it for what it is. Just a mental event and not reality. The second thing you need to do is you need to interrupt the thought before it takes over. A thought will get stronger the more that you focus on it. And we know how this goes. If we just ruminate on a negative thought, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's all that we can think about. Now we're just so focused in on that negative thought. And so what you have to do is you have to catch it before it starts getting big. Imagine a snowball at the top of the hill. If you let that snowball roll down the hill and keep going, it's going to get bigger and bigger. So what you want to do is stop that thought, stop that snowball at the top of the hill. Don't let it keep going and getting bigger. Here's a couple ways that you can interrupt that negative thinking or that negative thought. Number one is you can move your body. You have to change your state. Get up and move. Get up and walk around. Do some jumping jacks, push-ups, whatever, anything so that you can stop sitting there thinking that negative thought or that thought that's making you more anxious and more anxious. Get up and move your body because your brain can't stay stuck if your body's in motion, and that's going to raise your energy and it's going to allow you to break free from that stressful pattern. The next thing you can do is do something sensory. Go hold an ice cube, go splash water on your face, go smell peppermint, anything that's going to break that pattern of stressful thought. Because what that's going to do is it's going to shock your brain into the present moment. That way you're no longer sitting there worried about what's going to happen or thinking about the past that you can't change. Another thing you can do is count backwards, 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what this does is going to change your brain into logic mode instead of fear mode. Another thing you can do is literally say stop. Whenever you notice yourself falling into worrying or stressing or thinking about these stressful situations, and again, making it bigger, just verbally say stop. And what that's going to do is it's going to break that pattern of you thinking and blowing up these negative thoughts. And the third thing you need to do is you need to replace that negative thought. Because if you just break the pattern, but you don't replace it with something positive, your mind's just going to go back to that same stressful negative thought. So you need to change it. You need to give your mind a new focus. As an example, if your brain says, I can't do this, replace it with, this is just a feeling, it'll pass. I've been through hard times before, and I've made it through, and I'll make it through this as well. Or for a lot of people, if you are saying something bad is going to happen, you got to replace that thought. You need to replace that with, I don't have to believe everything that I feel. Or what I like to say is, right now, I am safe. So what I tell my wife and my kids is, right now is all that you have. You can't stress about what may or may not happen in the future. The only thing that you have control of is this moment right now. And right now, we're standing in the house, we're standing in the kitchen, we're cooking dinner. That's the only thing that we have control of. And maybe the only thing you have control of is you're driving down the street. The only thing that you can do right now is drive your car. That's the only thing that you have control over. You can't control over what hasn't happened yet, and you can't change what's already happened. So try to remain focused on the present moment, because that's all that you can control. And, the popular one, if you're saying, I don't have control over my thoughts, understand this. I might not control the first thought, but I do control what happens next. And all this is not about fake positivity. This is about rewiring your brain to work for you instead of working against you. Now, step number 4 is you now need to create mental boundaries. As an example, set yourself a time limit for overthinking. If you want to sit there and ruminate on a thought and be stressed out, give yourself 5 minutes to do so. Set a timer. And you can allow yourself to be stressed out for 5 minutes. But once that 5 minutes is up, it's time to move on. Another thing that you can do is write it down. A lot of times just getting that stuff out of you onto a piece of paper is very cathartic. And so that's what I suggest, is just writing down that negative thought. You're just getting it out of you. Because what this does, it gets it out of your head. And now you have control over it, because now it's out of you. Another thing that's important is you have to limit your mental spiraling. And you need to ask yourself, can I take action on this thought? Can I do anything about it? And that goes right back. If you can do something about it, then do something about it. And if you can't, just let it go. Now that we've been through that, think about this. Imagine waking up and not feeling trapped in your mind anymore. Imagine having a thought, recognizing it for what it is, and then shutting it down and not letting it spiral. Imagine feeling peace, even when life seems chaotic and out of control. It's not impossible. That's what happens when you train your brain. And once you start doing this enough, you're going to notice when you start spiraling and overthinking about things that you have no control over, or whenever you think a stressful thought, immediately your brain will light up to remind you you can do nothing about this, or if you can, to change it. But you're going to discover the more that you practice this, the easier it gets, and the more peaceful you live and go throughout your day. But understand, this is not about you being broken. This is just about you learning how to take back control of your mind. So now, here's your challenge. The next time a negative thought pops up, or a stressful thought pops up, or a thought pops up that makes you anxious, don't just let it sit there. Catch it, interrupt it, replace it, and then move forward. You are not powerless over your thoughts. I mean, your mind is powerful, but you are much more powerful. And if you start applying this one step at a time, your anxiety is going to lose a grip over you, your mind will get quieter, and you'll finally feel free. So I hope this helped. If it did, send it to somebody that you think might need it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I thank you so much. Leave a comment below if it's helped you out, or if you have any questions, or if you need help with this. As always, make good choices. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.